Now we talk about the past, present, and future of historically black colleges and universities.
Oh yeah, HBCUs were created out of necessity. Laws prevented black folks from getting an education, so we created our own.
I spoke with Dr. or Mr. or the Dillard president, Dr. Walter Kimbrough, and Southern students about how the future is shaping up for HBCUs. The HBCU experience is like none other. The culture, the lifestyle, and of course you can't talk HBCUs without talking sports. And of course, the marching band.
Black culture is popular culture now.
But Dillard University President Walter Kimbrough says these institutions are much more than that. Why are HBCUs so important to the black community?
Well, from a historical perspective, I've heard really good explanation is that when you started to see the advent of HBCUs, the illiteracy rate in black communities dropped precipitously. So the first thing that they did was they became avenues for this newly freed people to be educated, basic education.
Kimbrough says HBCUs gave black folks basic training and the proper education to set themselves up for success. Kimbrough says HBCUs also helped black people enter into a middle-class lifestyle. Do you think there's still a need for HBCUs?
Yeah, so I always tell people the goal should be, how do we have institutions that are the best fit for students? Because the overall goal is, how do we get more of our citizens educated? And there are a range of, we have public and private, we have church related, we have, the Mormon related institutions and Catholic institutions. And I mean, there are just lots of different ways. So this is just another way that you can be educated. And I think sometimes people just bristle because when you see black, but this has been a part of black communities, just like nobody says, do we need the black church? I mean, this is a pillar institution like the black church.
Jazz, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whitney Thomas and Chris Hunter are both broadcast journalism majors at the Southern University. Why did y'all decide first to go to an HBCU?
You want to go first or me?
Well, for me, it was more of like the culture aspect, being around the culture, I wanted to feel secure in the environment that I was going to spend the next 4 years in.
After experiencing racism at a previously predominantly white university, Thomas says making the move was a necessity.
I had been pursuing broadcast journalism since my junior year of high school, so I went in kind of with an initiative knowing what I wanted to do. And the opportunity was a little rigorous, with people of color pursuing that field particularly.
Talk a little bit about what it means to attend an HBCU right now.
So I think we provide that opportunity for people just to focus on being a student and not have to deal with that other stuff. It's not to say you can run from it, because you're still in these broader communities where racism can still follow you, as the bomb threats is reminding everybody right now.
Underfunding and attendance have been an issue for many black institutions for years.
That's always a challenge. If you had more resources, you could do a lot more for the institutions and the students.
While Kimbrough says HBCUs have always made it work with less, he says it's time for more people like Mackenzie Scott, who gave millions to HBCUs, to invest in the future.
You start giving that money to places that educate students that look like what America is becoming. That's how you do that.
HBCUs, of course, are on the rebound. People from all cultures now want to take part in the cultural experience of HBCUs. That's partially due to more and more people speaking up for what they believe in. Both students and Kimbrough agree if black universities act now, HBCUs could be around for another 200 years. What do you think the future of HBCUs look like, or what would you all like to see for the future of HBCUs?
Just more attention. I want to see people bring more attention to HBCUs. I feel like now where we are in this world, a lot of people are choosing HBCUs. A lot of people want to come and spend 4 years around people that look like themselves and people who they can relate to. In 4 years, I definitely see HBCUs continuing to grow and become better. I just feel like, we just need to continue to do the work now so that we can improve in those later years.
I gotta agree too. I think as long as we continue to put in the work and actually execute the problems that are at hand right now, we'll be fine in the future. It'll grow. We'll continue to have diverse people coming to the university.
Is the future bright for HBCUs?
It possibly could be, but once again, the challenges will be resources for families and the institutions. We've got to figure out, between government and philanthropy, we've got to start thinking about, how do we help out people? The hard question is people who are white to say, I'm going to do something intentional to help people who do not look like me.
Of course, at many HBCUs, the marching band often steal the show.
Oh, yes, that's especially true for Southern University's Human Jukebox. While people come for the game, it's the halftime show that really cements the experience. The pageantry of marching bands is something that can't be duplicated. Even Pepsi sees it with the recent release of this commercial called The Halftime Game.
Yeah, the Juke making themselves heard all around the world, starring in Lizzo's music video, Good as Hell. The work they do on and off the field ringing through the years to come. And the Southern University Law Center hits the Diamond Jubilee this year. The university will be honoring all year long about their university.
That's right. And our Rachel Riley, in fact, taking a look for us at the Law Center's history and impact.
Order in the court. Southern University Law Center is celebrating its 75th anniversary. The center opened back in 1947 to help provide legal education to African Americans everywhere.
Our law school has really transcended time and become a model institution for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
30-year faculty member and Chancellor John Pierre says Southern University's Law Center started as an intimate school with only 13 students. Now they have over 900.
You have to have the faith of a mustard seed. And if you have that faith of a mustard seed, you will see a beautiful bush grow beyond anyone's wild imagination. That's the story of the Southern University Law Center. We were just a little bitty mustard seed. And look at us now.
The historically black institution was born out of a man's will to pursue his dreams and change the future.
Southern University Law Center came into existence because of a courageous man named Charles Hatfield, and he applied for admission to the LSU Law School. He was denied admission because of his color, and for only that reason.
Hatfield then filed a suit against the state. It was years before the civil rights movement started, and as expected, Louisiana ruled against him. That move was a catalyst he needed to push the state into developing a law school for blacks.
Thinking right now about the 75th anniversary of the Law Center and all of the strides that Charles Hatfield had to make, thinking about the fact that Southern University Law Center is the #1 producer of black lawyers in the entire country, that's impactful for me.
When you realize that if you pour yourself out into others, the ability that they have to pour themselves out into additional people, that domino effect is amazing.
The center has produced Supreme Court judges, advocates, and more. Law student Najada Harris is preparing to make her mark.
Something I'll always take with me as a soon-to-be alumna of Southern University Law Center is seriousness of purpose, making sure that everything I do is done with intention.
We tell our students when they come to the Law Center is that we make history every day. So when they come into the building, they have a chance to make history.
Harris plans to defy the odds considering less than 5% of attorneys in the country are black.
I feel that being specifically a black woman, that is my superpower. And I have no fears and no worries about going into the practice.
The environment that we create at Southern allows individuals to grow in a way that other institutions would not. And so to know that we're having that kind of impact on our community is something that I'm very proud of.
From Southern University, I'm Rachel Riley.
To learn more about Southern, how they're celebrating their 75th anniversary, you can go to prproud.com.
That's right. And still to come tonight. Coming up, a new art exhibit showing us how black artists are shaping American art right here in the capital city.